Hey guys, does this make you feel better? Just wanted to pop on super quick and share some insight that was coming through to me on my way home tonight. But I thought I'd start off a little bit silly and maybe shake things up a little bit. It's been a little wild, yeah? So I titled this, what did I call it? Feeling unsettled, emotional, going through hard times. How we can support ourselves in moving through this and what it's really about, and how we can really take advantage of where we're being guided. Yeah, change is happening, and I'm not like, there's pretty big change happening. So we're not talking about, oh, a different gym or cutting my hair, coloring it, or I don't know, changing your wardrobe. We're talking about like putting businesses aside and starting from scratch, or maybe not starting it again at all. Marriages are ending, homes are being left, people are, moving to different states and countries, and like pretty foundational changes are happening for people. What we know in this human experience is the one thing that is constant is change, right? And we can move through it with some ease and make it a little bit easier on ourselves emotionally, energetically, if we can remember to have faith and trust. So, trusting that everything is always unfolding as it's meant to be. And the what I was hearing on my ride home tonight was the puzzle pieces always fall into place. And so it's easier in retrospect for us to look back at our lives and see, okay, yeah, that makes sense why that happened and why that happened. It's hard when you're in the middle of that to remember that everything is always happening as it's meant to, or that it's going to work out, or the pieces are going to fall in place. So I'm just reminding you, everything is falling into place. So that's like the trust factor. The faith factor is, having faith that there's something larger than you working through you and guiding us and guiding this process, and that everything is happening for our highest and best good. And sometimes it does not feel like it's happening for our highest and best good. It actually feels like some whatever, 4-letter words, and hard as hell, and it feels like we'll never make it through. And so I'm just reminding you of all the times that you've made it through, and that all of those dreams and those desires and those things that you've wanted in your heart, and the things that you put in your vortex and the things that you've dreamed about, they're available to you. And sometimes what we need to do is clear out our own clutter, our emotional clutter. So any of the shame, guilt, any of the trauma, any of the, old belief systems that we're holding on to, any of the fears that we have in letting go of, what we may be holding on to, that's actually preventing us from moving forward. And so I know it's so much easier said than done. And like when it gets hard, go back to, if trust and faith don't work for you, find an anchor that you can remind yourself of the challenges that you've been through, and that, the dreams that you have in your heart and what you're really striving for. This only becomes more challenging the more we resist it. And so if you can get to the base, because what happens is that as we're going through these changes and the emotional stuff starts to come up, it's actually, the emotions are but the emotions are a manifestation of energy that's trying to move through us. And sometimes what happens is we get so attached to the words around what's happening. If we can get to the base of the energy that's trying to move through us, it'll happen with much more ease. So faith, trust, everybody's going through massive change right now. So the change is for you, for us. get to the base of the energy and allow that to move through you. Feel it. You know, if what I'm sharing about, you know, faith and trust and looking back and seeing how life has, you know, supported us, if there's any part of you that's resisting it or feeling like yeah, just not even like how believing in that, life may be bringing you opportunities to heal more and release more emotionally. You know, sometimes these challenging circumstances come up to actually trigger and help us release some stuff that we're holding on to and not realizing that this backpack, this luggage, this clutter that we're holding on to is actually the stuff that's in the way of us moving forward. And so I know there's hard decisions that are needing to be made. And, you know, some of that is having us take a really hard look at some of the internal stuff that who we are, the things that we've been carrying around. It can feel very shameful. It can feel embarrassing, but this is where we have to really get, you know, honest with ourselves and radically love ourselves and meet ourselves with compassion, and just know that everybody is going through it at some level. If you can just like be honest with what are you holding on to that's in the way of what it is you really want. So, you know, whether that's an emotion or that's a relationship or a job or a home or, you know, a belief about yourself or, you know, any, because some of the things we're seeing the ways that we've been martyrs and victims and, you know, holding on to that and to look at it, it's like, there's a part of us that wants to release it, but that martyr, that victim, that role, that aspect of ourselves has done a really, it holds on because it feels like it has this role to play. It could be protecting you from hurt, from pain. And that's what I'm saying is life is bringing you some of these situations to help us release these pains that we've been holding on to. So again, it's all together. So love yourself. Allow the energy to move through, have trust, faith, be compassionate, love yourself, honor your needs. The puzzle pieces are falling together and massive changes here. But if you weren't in the middle of all this, you wouldn't be ready for it. And you are, we all are. And thanks for doing what you do. And if this was helpful to you, or if you know anybody that might be having a hard time that might find this information useful, please feel free to share.